Out goes the Powerhouse, and the COVID-19 man has come to deliver you from the empty land, from the ones who have been silenced to the promised land of the Alef-Bet, which is the original place for the soul of a man, where he can now get his jubilee and abide safe like he's never been, in the power of the Father, in the Powerhouse, cause that's what World Tech Trick, Davar Tech, in the Alef-Bet we're connected. World Tech Trick, Davar Tech, in the Powerhouse we're connected. Truth in the Torah where it is, that's right. And whether you like it or not, I just don't give a damn, cause in this thing the end is gonna be for sure. It's got a date before the song began to score. This ain't no lie, we about to fly, cause in the truth there's nothing that can be denied. Here's the COVID-19 man is hooking you up to the Alef-Bet, to the Powerhouse, with you waving. The COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up, cause that's what World Tech Trick, Davar Tech, in the Alef-Bet we're connected. World Tech Trick, Davar Tech, to no one else I'm genuflecting. World Tech Trick, Davar Tech, to the Powerhouse I'm connected. And then I want to get your power back, cause you will find in there the Powerhouse not scared. You won't be silenced, nobody can touch what you will find in there. Gets to cut the masking back of lies, the righteous now they cries, cause the COVID-19 man is gonna hook you up to the Powerhouse. Leave the power show, ride this mule around. And welcome, my fellow Davarians, my administrators of the economy of the Alef-Bet. All right, administrators of the economy. We're looking into those things today. Amazing things are happening during this 14-day interval, from the 6th, when they voted officially, supposedly, and on the 20th with the inauguration. That's 14 days. From the 6th to the 20th, that's 14 days. And supposedly a lot of people are giving hope right now, that that's the end of the dreams and the desires, especially those that are conservatives. A lot of them are throwing in the towel. They're thinking things are not going to get any better. We have seen a great divide taking place in the news. So you can see all this coming in from Facebook, Twitter, and everything. I've gotten very divisive, cutting off the president and what have you. Hey, Andy, Crisp, and Brian Wante, good to have you guys. I know it's kind of late, but it's good that you could join me. But I've been basking in the understanding of the Torah, and it will be, I will be too selfish of me not to share all these things that are bubbling within my soul at this hour. I'm just having the time of my life, literally, As I can see that the world is, a lot of them are sinking in fear. It's like a flood of fears, especially the news, don't stop. And they're giving you all kinds of stuff that they want to do this to the president, and especially the liberal media, man. I was looking and said, wow, I was thinking, interesting, fascinating what's going on. But in any case, I thought I'd share this. The title for today, so the interval, the 14-day interval of David's numerical value. David's numerical value is 14. So I'm going to present to you during these 14 days. I started on the 6th. That night was Wednesday. We had that. I'm going to try to give about an hour here. And then I'm going to talk every day this week, a couple of hours, until I'll give you a total of 14 hours before the 20th of instructions, So 2 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours on Wednesday, and so on. It's going to be 2 hours every day this week, because this is why I'm going to present to you the agenda, of what my Maker is planning to do with all of this, because I believe that He has raised me for this hour. All right, so I have, all the stuff that has to do with my life is it's becoming very clear right now for this moment. Okay, so this is the 14-day interval, David's numerical value. Okay, and so we're looking at Ezekiel 34 verses 28, double, David from the past and David from the now, verse 30. Fear showcases best your true deity. Okay, that's part of the things we're going to deal with. Fear showcases best your true deity, and as the Davar is, so are you as his product. These are the two subjects we're going to be looking at through the whole period right now to understand what the whole agenda is of God, okay? And I'm going to read to you those passages in a little while, also Psalm 46, because this is supposed to be the 46th president that's going in right now. The 45th was Donald Trump, now it's supposed to be. So I was looking at Psalm 46, and very interesting. I thought I'd share this Psalm today, and I also share Jeremiah, verses chapter 1, verses 18 through 19. I'm going to look at that. But before we get into that, I'm going to share a story, all right? Let me see if I can get you here to the observatory. My first observatory here. All right. And this way I get to see some of you here, okay? You are joining. All right. Yes, the world is falling apart, my friend. Yes, But the only thing that is falling apart is only what men have attempted to build, using the Davar. You understand that the Davar is the word, which means the administration of an economy. So when you have a Davar, you have a wholesome word to run a business, or to run a country, or to run a nation, to run an organization. Davar means that. It's a whole schedule. So a Davar could be the whole setup for a city, the whole setup for a park, the whole setup for anything. But it's the administration, that's Dalet, Beth, Resh. The administration, the house, and the rules. The administration of the house of rules is the administration of an economy. All right? The access to the house of rules. And so that's the whole idea. So what is being tested is the Davar that you have been built upon. All right? Because our first parents, Adam and Eve, when they decided to take off the tree of the discernment of what is good and evil, that is the discernment of how to use the alphabet, the Alef-Bet, which means the Father. God has showed him with 6 days the magnificent way in which he could use the alphabet to make a creation that was self-sufficient and resilient at that. Okay? But he thought, well, I could give it a shot. I could be like God and choose to make the bars, like him, to run things like him. And so I've been telling you about the M.U.L.E, the mule, garden that we have created, the retarded garden, which is in need of manpower all the time. Man has to be working behind everything to make things work. So that's why it's not the same as the resilient garden that can multiply, that can do the FMR, fruitful, multiply, and replenish. Only God created that with his alphabet, and those are resilient. Because at the end of the day, that was continues to be. People live, they have so many things that people have made buildings they left and abandoned. Pretty soon the resilient garden creeps in, all plants and herbs, and all the little things begin to grow around. And then once again, the forest is established. The greenery swallows up that, because that's a resilient garden that overtakes what manpower cannot continue to uphold. The Numerical, the M.U.L.E, Manpower Upheld Lame Economy. And that's what we have created the best. And so what happens in a time like this, that was what we're facing, is that God is calling back the Davar back onto himself. He's testing all the nations, all the Davars that you have to hold you, your structures that you have trusted, the things that you have built with the Davar, your temples, your buildings to run your businesses, your constitutions to run your nations, your creeds and your beliefs to run your religion and your churches. Where are they at this hour? Where are they to uphold you, not to cause you to be afraid? Because when the world makes you afraid, you should not be afraid if you are standing in the Davar by which God made you. If you're in the Davar of the Torah, if you are the product of the Davar of the Torah, nothing can scare you. Okay, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. All right, so that's the thing that we're going to start here. Let me share some of the verses here. Let me see if I can share this one. I'll start with this one right now here. Ezekiel 38. Okay, yeah, you can point it out good. So Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 34 verses 28 to 30. Okay, says, and they shall no more be a prey to the heathen. Okay, neither shall the beast of the land devour them. Talking about Israel in the future when everything is ended. But they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. The whole world is being made afraid right now. And as the title says, fear showcases best your true deity. Because, God wants to see where your fear resides. When your fear is only to fear Hashem and your maker and the Alef-Bet and the order of the structures of the Alef-Bet, nothing can scare you because you realize what your economy is. You realize that you and I, my friends, were made to be power plants. You understand that? That means we energize the world. We have an energy in us that can bring to life the character of God, which was the first original economy, the only one that God had intended for us to do. Okay, but we gotten away from that. We build instead a retarded garden in which all our manpower has to be used there. So we have to make the man-made plants. We got to go work and make them run. So all of that is wasted, so the character of God escapes us. And so we are basically caught up in these different Davars to keep running the M.U.L.E garden, the M.U.L.E, the Manpower Upheld Lame Economies. And as such, we lose sight of the original Davar for which we were made. To be wordectric, Davarectic, empowering the character of our Maker to come out of us, and that was it. It wasn't too much of a burden. God did not ask us to work to any of His God-made plans. All these 400,000 plants and 300,000 of them are edible. We didn't have to work to go make the product for only those plants. They can make them their own by themselves. And so it was a wonderful existence. A wonderful plan. But what has come right now, as I was alluded on December 25th, I was introducing the concept that what God wants to do, because the Davar is every building. That's why I usually use the observatory, as my thing to talk about. Let me get to the observatory. Okay, well, let me just read this. And they shall no more be afraid, that none shall make them afraid. Verse 29. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown. Okay, we're talking about a power plant here, right? And I shall raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen anymore. The shame of the heathen is all the Davars that the heathen created in the retarded garden to hope in them, to hope in their economies, to hope in their projects, to hope in everything that they make. But when push comes to shove, like the situation right now, and you are made to believe that you are going to die by a 40 nanometer virus and all this stuff, you succumb. You cave in, you go under. All right? And so, but God's going to raise a plant of renown. This way of talking, it's interesting how God refers to raise up a plant of renown. Like let me give you another example where He uses that, and I will raise. Let me see if He shows it here. Okay, we'll raise. Here we go. This with Ezekiel, that's we'll raise. And let me see if He showed me something here before that. Oh no. Let me take you to this one. Okay. Okay, I want to take you to what it says with Okay, but I need to do this. Give me a second here. Because it takes me to this thing here. I want to take you to, we raise, it says in Jeremiah. Okay, then I take you back in here. All right. Jeremiah, the race says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. So this terminology, I will raise a plant, I will raise, something has to do with the thing that God's prepared. God prepares that person, because remember, we are a power plant. Okay? God made us for him. He is the power. El means power. Elohim means powers. It's plural. So he is power. He's electric, wordectric, dabarectic. He energizes the universe. He breathes life. He animates it. He does everything to bring it to life. So you will see different ways. It says, but they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. So this thing of raising up, God is the one that prepares. Even the David that he prepares is his power plant. So it's a power plant. So that's what he's saying in Ezekiel here, right? So let me go back to this. So that we got in Ezekiel, and I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, and neither bear the shame of the heathen anymore. All right. Now, what I want to share with you today was the story that I read this week. I think I read this on Friday, and I thought I was going to share with you next time. And he talked about this little story. Who invented the alphabet? Okay. Let me see if I can go here. Yeah. So, yeah, you can see me. The arrow there. Good. So, who invented the alphabet? Says new scholarship points to paradox of historic scope. A writing system was devised by people who couldn't read. That's their opinion, though. But, in any case, it's interesting. I was thought, because this is the hieroglyphics. They found this writing. They found an alphabet written on the walls of a cave. The cave was on top. There was a temple on top built. But underneath was an alphabet that somebody had written. That was the original one that they said the alphabet that was made. And but I'm going to read you the story here. But on top of the alphabet was built this temple. There's this temple built on top of the alphabet, where the alphabet was written below, and on top of it is this temple. And the temple is built inside a rock. So it's inside the thing, because the word Davar, remember, Dalet Beth Resh, the numerical value for that is bones. It's a skeleton. Okay? It's 206. It has 206. You look at it in Google, 206 at the adult bones of the skeleton has 206 bones. And the skeleton, human skeleton, is for the structure to hold the flesh in its place. So people recognize our faces, recognize everything, because it's the structure behind it. It's like a bed. It's a floor plan. It's the structure of the flesh. So that's why the Dabar is the structure of how to run a business, how to run anything, how to run a nation. It gives you this. It's the structure. It's the floor plan. The schematics, the blueprints. All right. And so the skeleton is endo. It's inside of us. So the Dabar needs to be inside of us to understand that we are here to project the character of our Maker. And when we have that kind of a Dabar to guide us into that, there's nothing in the world that is going to make us afraid, because our economy is, first of all, to reveal his mindset, to reveal the way he thinks, to reveal his completeness, and to have respect to our words and to the keeping of words. And so nothing in this world can make us afraid. The character of God will be abundantly coming out of us. But this is the whole idea. There's a lot of nice pictures in here. The Alef-Bet underneath the alphabet, and then on top there's the Dabar, because the Dabar is a temple. It's instruct everybody that comes with a wholesome word, to make a business, and then build up a structure, to build a building, and then with the name of that business, whether it be a banking institution or an engineering company or a chemical lab, all those places hold the knowledge of that particular, subject, whether it be engineering or whether it be banking. So those buildings are dedicated, sacred, if you please, holy, to be separated. They're separated to a certain knowledge. Some buildings are separated for the knowledge of engineering. Other buildings are separated for the knowledge of chemistry. Other buildings are separated for the knowledge of banking. Everything is sacred, is separated for their own subject. So that's why every Davar is something like a temple. All right? So that's what God builds the Bet HaMikdash, which means the temple, because everybody builds a temple. In the temple, what we do in the Bet HaMikdash, we are projecting what we already have within us. All right? So we project into the external realm of this world what we are carrying within us. But that Bet HaMikdash, that Davar that is sacredly dedicated to the Torah, so we can understand the mindset of God, is going to have to be built up in us first. That's how it is with all the buildings in the world. For any company, that Davar was in the mindset of the CEO or the founder. He had it within him. He brought it out, and then therefore they put it out there. But everything has to be within, and all the workers that work in there keep that Davar as an endo, as an endo structure inside of them, so they can project it into the world. Only the consumer goes and grabs the things in the world. But the one that works in a company does not hold on to anything in this world for that company. He only projects it, brings it out, because the Davar has to be kept inside. That's the same thing has to do. So I love this whole story. That's what when I was reading, I was just putting all the pictures together in my mind. I thought, wonderful, There's the endoskeleton. But the people that do not have they build the structure of an exoskeleton, like a crab, the things outside, like a turtle. The outside is the exoskeleton, the things. So when that is exposed, so when somebody cracks your exoskeleton, that's it. You're dead meat. Exactly. You're dead. You're dead meat. Because your exoskeleton is what was protecting you. And so that's why the whole world makes these structures, and that structure become like an exoskeleton. They trust it that they're going to last forever. And when things like this happen in the world, so what God is doing is he's testing all your Davars that all the industries have made all along millennia after millennia, and it's putting the whole world into a test to make you see that your Davar that you've come up with is deficient, because it makes you afraid of a little virus, for all things' sake, because your economy is not based on something that cannot be destroyed, like the alphabet cannot be destroyed. That's why I'm having the nothing really makes me afraid because of all this understanding that I have, So I just want to share with you this so you will escape from this thing. Because who's Davar? It says that we are the product of a Davar. As the Davar is, so are you as his product. If you get into engineering, that's your Davar. So you become an engineer. As your Davar is, so are you as his product. So a lot of people go to the schools in this world, and so they are the product of their educational system. Okay, so all the educational system produces engineers, produces chemists, produces doctors, produces philosophers, all these things. But right now what God is doing is testing all the product of the different Davars of this retarded garden that you went and you graduated, you got your titles. And all of you, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're atheist or not, this whole situation is scaring you. It's hot, you scared. Not telling you whatever Davar you trusted, I don't care what religion you have, whether you're Christian, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're Hindu, whatever you have, right now, if you are not above it and none of this is scaring you, then you are not with the Davar that was built by the Torah. You are the Davar that's made by some man-made religion. And it's proven you. This is how God gets to sift the nations and proves them that the Davar falls short of making them rise against the flood of all this bad news that are coming right now. Because right now people are being inundated left and right. This is happening. Oh, this is going to be taken away. What can you do? Got to wear the mask. Got to wash your hands. Got to do this. Oh, no. And everybody's like, oh, inundated. Where is the Davar that you learn in school, that you learn in religion, that takes you out of this whole ordeal and makes you rise above? And makes you contemplate everything, and nothing is happening to you because your economy of the character of who God is, it has not been touched. You still have a job in revealing Him. It has not changed. You still know how to project them in this world. You still know how to take the lead, and to bring out of out of this inundation, like the wicked are like the troubled sea whose mind cannot rest. There is no peace, say Hashem, unto the wicked. And right now, the whole world is restless. People are caving in, and so it's amazing what's going on. So that's why I got to share with my brothers and sisters what's going on, because I'm having too much of a good time for myself. Might as well give them a little bit of this. So this is hieroglyphics line walls in the shrine of the goddess Hathor. Now, interesting. This is goddess Hathor. I'm going to read you what it stands for, but I'll read you the meaning of those in each letter, in the Hebrew. Okay, let's start reading. Let me start reading the stuff here. It says centuries before Moses. Okay. Centuries before Moses wandered in the great and terrible wilderness of the Sinai Peninsula, this triangle of desert wedged between Africa and Asia attract speculators drawn by rich mineral deposits hidden in the rocks. And it was on one of these expeditions around 4,000 years ago that some mysterious person or group took a bold step that in retrospect was truly revolutionary. It scratched on the wall of a mine is the very first attempt at something we use every day, the Alef-Bet, the alphabet. Okay, somebody wrote it in there, right? The evidence which continues to be examined, let me put it up here. The evidence which continues to be examined and reinterpreted 116 years after its discovery is on a windswept plateau in Egypt called Serabit el-Kadim, a remote spot even by Sinai standards. Yet it wasn't too difficult for even ancient Egyptians to reach as the presence of a temple right at the top. So that's a temple right at the top shows. When I visited in 2019, I looked out over the desolate, beautiful landscape from the summit and realized I was seeing the same view the inventors of the alphabet had seen every day. The temple is built into the living rock. Inside, like the Davar has to be inside of us, right? To be effective and to make us be producers. The temple is built into the living rock. So that's why that temple has been there way before, Moses started thinking, because it's inside. It's a strong structure. Okay. Other temples have caved in, but this one is a structure, is the rock. The Torah calls itself the rock. So there's a lot of symbolism in this story. Okay, in any case, so it says the temple built into the living rock dedicated to Hathor, the goddess of turquoise. Okay, and turquoise is like a greenish kind of a stone, and it was used by the Egyptians because, and I'll explain in a minute why, the Hathor. But the word Hathor, I'll explain to you right now, has a hey with the H, and it has a T and an H. O-R, but that's TH is just like a T, but hey is animation, activation is breath. Hey is breath. Okay, hey, so hey or ha, but it's a ha, so it's an aleph, you have to put the a, aleph, the other. So animation that's strongly committed against the tab, the TH I will call it as the tab de la letter. And that the O is like the bab or the hook or the connectedness, and the resh is the head. Okay, so the animation for the strong commitment of the connectedness of the head. Okay, so it was dedicated to the animation for the strong commitment, for the animation for the connectedness of the head. So the animation of the strong commitment, where commitment is the tab, commitment or covenant. For the animation, for the connections of the head. Okay, so that's what so it's interesting because they people write these names, they don't realize, because Jews have, I mean, it's this, the saying is Ein Ad Melvado, Hashem is everything, God is behind everything. So if you read the letters of the Alef-Bet, you'll see where God is working behind the scenes. The word Hathor was dedicated to a pagan god, because if they did not know God, they worshiped this goddess of the turquoise. That's one of the things she represented. But what does the turquoise represent? I'll show it to you some more. But behind the scenes, God is working everything, because he reveals things about the character of God, as I repeat what the letter says. So, Hathor, the goddess of turquoise, among many other things. This is what she represents. Stele, chisel, stele, chisel with hieroglyphics line the paths to the shrine, where archaeological evidence indicates there was once an extensive temple complex. A mile or so southwest of the temple is the source of all ancient interest in this area. Embedded in the rock are nodules of turquoise, a stone that symbolizes rebirth. To be born again, to be reborn. So this Hathor is the temple, of turquoise, or the temple of the goddess of turquoise. Okay, so it has to do with like I told you, the animation for the strong commitment to the connectedness of the head for being reborn. Because when you are in the head, you are in wisdom, you keep things renewed, refreshed, restored. You keep things reborn. Okay, so the turquoise represents rebirth. So you see all this thing when you get behind the letters, the Alef-Bet. So it says, let me see what's the rebirth again. Symbolizes rebirth, a vital motif in Egyptian culture, and the color that decorate the walls of the lavish tombs. A lot of them put it in the tomb, the color, greenish. Turquoise is why Egyptian elites sent expeditions from the mainland here and protect here a project that began around 2800 BC. This project began 2800 before the Common Era. All right. Now it's interesting. When David was born, I was listening to a rabbi last night. Was going the timeline from the beginning, and David was born in 2854, according to the timeline he was telling. 2820, 28. There's two Davids there, 28, 20. But the thing is, I added that up. After that, so from the beginning of creation to 2854, that's when David was born, all right? And so when I added, I say, I'm going to put another double that, 2854 times 2 times, what will that end up being? And end up in the year like 5,000 something. But when you reduce it, the year is after the Common Era, is the year 1948. So, when you read it, for the Common Era is the equivalent of 1948 now after the Common Era. And that's when the nation of Israel was formed again. In 1948, we were born. So when you double David, okay, you double the amount of the years where he was born from the beginning, you double it, you end up in the year that the nation of Israel was formed. And so I figured that out. It was very interesting, So now that the nation of Israel has been formed, and now like 73 years since it has been formed, I'm ready to deliver the message of what they can do right now to bring the Davar out of the servitude that it's doing right now, which is showing that with the retarded way of men doing things, they have not been able to build their own Davars, their own structures, their own administration of their economies that make them rise above the situation the world is going in. So right now, this whole thing that's happening right now, God is just showing that their Davars, that their project and the use of the Davar has failed. That's all he's doing. He's just bringing them to see. So, but let me finish it. So it says here, rebirth of a body. Okay, turquoise is why Egyptians elites, sent expeditions from the mainland here, a project that began around 2800 BC and lasted for over 1,000 years. Expeditions made offerings to Hathor in hope of rich Howl to take home, and I wanted the big load of that stuff to take home. Now this I find very interesting. Look at this thing. Okay, this is called a little mini sphinx, right? And the sphinx consists of, it's the body of a lion and the head of a man. Sometimes they put the head of a woman or put the head of a falcon or the head of a cat, but usually I also have the head of a man. But this is interesting thing. I'll tell you in a minute what I'm talking about here. This Goldwasser calls the sphinx discovered at Alef-Bet the Rosetta Stone of the alphabet. All right, look at that. So it says, in 1905, a couple of Egyptologists, Sir William and Hilda Flinders Petrie, okay? So it's Flinders Petrie. Petrie, like a Petra, means like rock, like Petra means rock. It's like piedra. So interesting that these people went to study the rock, and their name is Petrie. They have stone in the name. It's amazing how God uses the people that He puts in history. They probably not even connected that, but they had that. But the way I can remember this is because it has Flinders Petrie, and Petrie means a stone, right? Hey, Flintstones. The Flintstones went and discovered the alphabet. So that's the way I can remember the Flinders Petrie. Okay, Petrie means Petra, means stone. Okay, so interesting. So William and Hilda Flinders, Flintstones or Flinders Petrie, who were married, first excavated the temple. Okay, so they went inside the temple. The Davar. There's a picture of the Davar. The temple is like a Davar. It has a door, has access to it, and it holds sacred things that belongs to that temple. Okay, that's what every building does. It's a Davar. It's a complete access to an economy rules. Okay, so excavated the temple, documenting thousands of votive offerings. These are little things that people will bring in there as a donation of offerings there. The pair also discovered curious signs on the side of the mine and began to notice them elsewhere on walls and small statues. Some signs were clearly related to hieroglyphics, yet they were simpler than the beautiful pictorial Egyptian scripts on the temple walls. The Petries, the stones, Petries recognized the signs as an alphabet. Through decoding the letters would take another decade. Though decoding the letters would take another decade, and tracing the source of the invention far longer. Okay, now let me take it all the way here, all the way to the top. The invention far longer. Okay, now I hope that. Okay, so this is the Flinders or the Flintstones, the Flinders Petries, brought many of the prizes they had unearthed back to London, including a small red sandstone sphinx. That's the little picture I showed you about. Okay, with the same handful of letters on its side as those seen in the mines. After 10 years of studying descriptions, in 1916, the Egyptologist Sir Alan Gardiner published his transcriptions. Sir Alan Gardiner, almost like a gardener. Yeah, we're going back to the gardener. And Alan has the power. A-L has power in there for the Aleph. All this stuff has to do with alphabet. It's amazing to me. Alan Gardiner published his transcription of the letters and the translation, an inscription of the little sphinx written in a Semitic dialect, read the message he had is beloved of Bahalat, okay, and referring to the Canaanite goddess, consort of Baal, the powerful Canaanite god. But you need to understand that the word Baal means just Lord, okay, just the meaning of Baal. In Hebrew, the word Baal is also husband. A lot of ladies can call their husband, they call him Baal. That's a nice Indian way to. So, the other people call Hashem Kadash Baal, means my sacred husband, the Kadash Baal. They Baal, the husband. God is our husband. They call him Baal too, but Baal was reference, to this other guy, the Canaanite, and they call him Baal. And so Baalat means the wife of Baal, okay? And so she was the goddess. So, but it says beloved of Baalat, okay? So that's somebody that dedicated, says that he was a beloved of Baalat, that was a worshiper of Baal. But the word beloved, okay, the word beloved, that's what David means. The meaning of David is beloved. That's what David, the actual meaning. Ask any Hebrew person. David means beloved. So in that thing that brought the discovery of the alphabet, the word beloved, the word David, a Baalat, and Baalat is the goddess, right? The female one, because this David is bringing you to the Reshit. Reshit stands for the whole book that Solomon dedicated to wisdom. Wisdom is the Reshit, is the principal thing. So he dedicated a whole book, to the wisdom that God employed to run everything. In the Reshit, Bereshit means in the Reshit, in the female head, because Reshit means female head. In the Reshit, Elohim, in the beginning, God, Elohim. So in wisdom, powers, because Elohim means powers, in the Reshit, and they translate it as in the beginning, but the Reshit is actually the female head. And Solomon dedicates the whole book of Proverbs to the female head, to the Reshit, and that's what his whole writing is about, to make you understand. So, I am the beloved of the Reshit. I've been teaching about the Reshit, the wisdom of God, the powers of God that comes from the wisdom of God. That's what created everything. Okay, so the beloved of the Baalet, the wife of God, is his wisdom, by which he creates everything. In a sense, the wisdom is inside of him, and he has a female figure to that, because wisdom, Hawkman, is female. That's why in the book of Proverbs, wisdom is depicted as a woman. It's a female because the Reshit is the female head. Okay, so the whole thing is dedicated. That's how you make connections, in the Torah. So, but interesting thing. So David is from the very start. In this little thing, and look at this. So in this little thing, that's what it says here in the message, and they found out that the old alphabet is described in there. But this also comes from the lion with the head of a man. And the lion is the tribe of Judah. That's where David comes from. Judah is the king lineage. That's David comes from the tribe of Judah. So look at all this connection. The tribe of Judah, the ones that are appointed to rule everything at the end, so there it goes. And there is written David, and David proceeded from Judah. You see all the connections here? And that is what is found in this temple that is inside the cave, endoskeleton, So I was just, wow, I was just enjoying this article, making so many connections, to this amazing thing, And then, but in any case, I thought I'd share this with you. So like I'm saying, so what we have now is like God is preparing. Interesting that I've been talking about being a power plant, right? I've been referring that time and time again, And so I'm going to tell you who was the first power plant that God used to feed the nation, because he says at the end, he's going to build them a plant. He's going to raise a plant of renown, so they will never be in an economy that causes them hunger, because people are hungry. The greatest hunger that people have now is for meaning. They want to make sense of what's going on. They're dying to understand what's going on. The people are lost. We have no idea. Their religion is not answering the situation. A lot of times, man, I should have been out of there. I should have been bailed out in the rapture long time ago now. What's going on? A lot of people are questioning everything else, because whatever you receive in your religion, in your man-made religion, everything that is made from the Pesel, the narrative of man that leads you to create carved image out of your own thinking, because whatever you think in your mind is that's a carved image that does not relate to the character of God. So the Pesel that gave you the cherry root to use your imagination, so you use your yetzer, to create your own, keeping going in your own imagination, it has not been able to take you out. So all the Davars have met with the test of horror and bad news, and they have failed because they're not able to deliver people to a calm state of mind, to a situation in which they are above it and nothing touches them, okay? And so that's what I'm reading right now. So here we have, you are familiar with this, the first power plant. That's a plant, and it's lit up with light. That's what power plants do. They bring light. So the first power plant, that was the Davar that was presented. That's the Davar that was presented to Moses. He was going to be the power plant that God was going to use to enlighten people, because the entrance of that word giveth light to give it understanding unto the simple. So God was showing Moses what he was going to be using it for as his power plant. He is the power source. The alphabet is the power source. And then he taken that power source, taken the alphabet, and all the things that the alphabet can do, you can do. Alphabet does engineering, you can do engineering. Alphabet does chemistry, you can do chemistry. Alphabet presents the character of God, you can present the character of God. You are the power plant once you find the alphabet as your power source. And so the power source was introduced to him, that he was going to be the power plant that was going to bring the people out of Mizraim, out of Egypt, so they will never be hungry again. And they began to receive the manna from heaven for 40 years. They walked in the wilderness, fed by Hashem himself. Complete air conditioning with the clouds protecting them and shades and everything. Woo! Wonderful experience. So this is the first power plant that God used. Okay? So he says that in Ezekiel that he's going to raise another power plant for the last time. And I've been talking about being the power plant. And I had no idea. I had not read this thing in Ezekiel about that way. I read that he's going to raise David. But I had never saw that in Ezekiel. Let me take right? Ezekiel, it says, and I will raise up for them a plant of renown. And they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen anymore. And in context, that's so that they will not be afraid. Okay, verse 28. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beasts of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. Okay? Because that's what I've been in power right now. With my understanding of the Torah, the whole situation, has not made me caved in, has not made me depressed, has not made me wonder what things are going on. I know exactly what's going on. So what God is doing is just it's calling back the Davar. Because it's proven to you what has the Davar, the product. You are the product of your Davar from your schools, from your religion, from everything. How is that working for you now? That's what God's asking. How is that Davar working for you? Is it delivering you from this hour? Are you at ease and at peace? Are you above it all? Are you enjoying the show like my servant David? Because I'm having a good time. That's what he's asking you right now. How's your Davar, holding up? Because everybody's at the barbarian of one sort. You are into banking. You are the barbarian for banking. You're into engineering. You're into computers. All those are your different temples of understanding. That's the wisdom that you cherish, and that's what gives you your living in this retarded garden. But how is that holding up for you now? Is it delivering you from this hour? Is it keeping you at peace? Is it keeping you healthy? Because your economy depends on those things. That's what your economy, so you feel like there it goes, your life goes. Because anybody that gives you an educational system, any educational system that is not based on the Torah, they can give you things and they can take them away. But you get your Davar based on the Torah, no man in this world can take you away. Because your economy is to be connected to the power source, which is the Alef-Bet, and you are his power plant, and in this body you have the power show, and you can show him off everywhere. And therefore, my friend, that cannot be taken away. That's what I'm establishing. And that's what I want you to be rooted in. And that's what God is preparing. So it's making it very easy. It's making it so everybody's shaking because they realize, man, all my hopes and dreams, they're going down the toilet. With all the paperwork, all the toilet paper that I bought. Everything is going down the toilet. The bar is not holding for me, man. I'm shaking in my boots, Hey, What's going on? So this is what I'm going to give you in these days of David. The 14-day interval, which bears my numerical value. When everybody, the whole world has, the political parties are giving up, they have already established everything, they're going to realize that what God is, the reason why he's sending you home is because he wants you to go back to the Alef-Bet, to the strong house. He is the strong house. He is the Father. This is a call to you to go back and bring your Alef-Bet that has been destroyed by the hour, because that's what Hashem has proven, that your little the little Davar that you were using to build up this retarded garden is failed to the max. It's all failed. You all get an F, for the use of your Davar, because your Davar that you built, you uphold in this M.U.L.E, Manpower Upheld Lame Economy, has not been able to deliver you, has not brought you peace, has not kept you calm. So it's time to listen to, God's servant. That I'm bringing you the good word to establish you in the Torah alone. Because that's the Torah that brought me to this. And so to understand that you need to listen to it, I encourage you to listen, because we're going to get more into this, And so I'm going to read one more here for Psalm 46, because this is what happened. We're coming with 46 precedent, right? So Psalm 46, look at what it says here. Psalm 46 says, for the leader by the descendants of Korach on Alamant high-pitched musical instruments. That's the introduction. Now, verse 1. God is our refuge and strength and ever-present help in trouble. We're in trouble right now, but he is our refuge and strength. That means you dwell in him. He's your tabernacle. And he is what encourages you. He is what animates you to do what you have to do. And ever present. And no matter what the situation is, what trouble, he's ever present. This verse 2. Therefore, we are unafraid. Even if the earth gives away. If everything if the whole world goes under your feet, you have nothing to fear. Because the Alef-Bet that makes everything is the one that's holding you. Can you say that about your Davar right now that you're holding on to? Because it is for the here and now. God is for the here and now. He brings all the situations to test you and see how you're handling yourself in the here and now. If you know the Alef-Bet, this is how you're handling yourself in the here and now, like it says here. Therefore, we are unafraid. Even if the earth gives away, even if the mountains tumble. And mountains here refers to institutions like people, that are running things. And all the mountains are tumbling right now. That's what he refers. All of these, the mountains are the people that are hitting the world, the corporations. Those are the mountains. Because in the end, he's going to build everything on top of the corporations. He's going to put his government on top of the mountains. So, because, I'm in that government. I'm on top of everybody right now. Even I own the CEOs.com and the CFOs.com. I already own those domains because I have planned for a long time to do something for them. Okay, so the domain of God will be built on top, of those things. See, 2003, I've owned those domains because I know God wanted me to use something. I know exactly what to do with them now. In any case, and they have been wanting to buy it for me with a lot of money, but I'm not selling it. So there's, therefore we are afraid, even if the earth gives away, even if the mountains tumble into the depths of the sea, even if its waters rage and foam, and the mountains shake at its turbulence. The waters, the goyim, and the waters, the goyim refers to the ocean, the people. The seas are the people and all this stuff. So even if the waters rage and foam and the mountains shake at its turbulence, that is happening right now. Apple banning these people, Parler, and all these things going on. Commotion. The people are commotion that's going on. And then it says interesting here. There's a river whose streams gladden the city of God, the holy habitation of Elyon. God is in the city. It will not be moved. When daybreak comes, God will help it. Nations were in turmoil. Kingdoms were moved. His voice thundered forth, and the earth melted away. Adonai, Saot, Lord of hosts, is with us. Our fortress, the strong tower, the power plant, the Powerhouse. Our fortress, the God of Jacob. God, come and see the works of Adonai. That's what I'm inviting you right now. Come and see what I'm going to show you this next few days in the interval time right now. You know, the outstanding deeds he has done on the earth. To the ends of the earth, he makes war cease. He breaks the bow, snaps the spear, burns the shields in the fire. Desist and learn that I am God. Okay, and the King James Version says, be still and know that I am God. But here, desist is really the best one. Is desist, keep on trying to float and make it on your little weak dabar that's being the product. All your dabars that you have are the product of your educational system, the product of your ideologies. They are the product of your religions. They are the product of everything that you held dear, by which you were making a living. And all of those things are shaking right now. They're tumbling. They're not solid. You can see that nothing that you thought is going to last forever has any solidity, has no firmness in it. Everything can be taken in no time. Things that you have no idea. All your plans can be disrupted. The things that you wanted, people were planning to do so many things, to travel here, to do this, to go this, to accomplish this thing, get married on a certain occasion. Everything got disrupted. There's no solidity. There's nothing firm. All right? So the thing is, that's what I'm talking about. So how do you see yourself right now in the midst of all this happening? How is your dabar sustaining you? The dabar for which you are the product of this mulectic garden. How is it holding up for you right now? Okay, that's the question you need to ask yourself. So are you ready to bring your words again? Line them up. Commit the way unto the Lord. The way is the words and yearnings. Commit your words and yearnings, unto the papyrus solution, the Torah that I explained on Wednesday. Commit it to that, and you'll rise above, my friends. Everybody else is being flooded in right now, by their preoccupations and worries. And so that's the thing. The question is, how do you view yourself? And this is the interesting. I want to finish with Jeremiah here. Because in Jeremiah, this is what God tells Jeremiah what he had prepared him for. I'm going to go down to verse 18 here, so it won't take too long. Okay. For behold, this is what God said to him. For behold, I have made thee this day a defense city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls, against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of this land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee. So the dabar that God had prepared for Jeremiah, that dabar was prepared by the alphabet, by the Father, the Alef-Bet, made him be a defense city, iron pillar, and a brass wall, something made out of copper wall. So that's how he was in the midst of all these people being rebellion, and he was going to go to tell him off, to tell them that they are walking in their own way. So that God preparing for that. He says, but behold, I have made thee this day a defense city. So according to the dabar that God had prepared for Jeremiah, Jeremiah was a defense city. He's an iron pillar and a brazen wall. Can you say that about yourself with the dabar that you've been raised with, as a product of your educational system, as a product of your religion, as a product of everything that you hold dear in this world? Can you say that of yourself right now? That in the midst of all of this, what are you? Can you say that that's what you are? That you are a defense city, an iron pillar, and a brazen wall? Y esto no me cala, como dicen in Spanish. This no me entra, this has nothing to do. This just bounces back. Everything you throw at me, is like a little pelleting. It doesn't touch me. It doesn't come near me. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to bring to naught your trust and everything. I'm going to make you see that your ways and your transgressions have failed you. Everything that you trusted in has become to nothing. And Elohim and Elukeno, Adonai, Echad, has been established as the only one. Because this is the way he runs things, my friend. Okay? So this is what you need to ask yourself. Because that's what Jeremiah was. And is. And this is what he continues to be even until now. Because what he said, Jeremiah, is brought up all the way to the Messiah's coming. He talked about the Messiah He talked about David. He talked all of that. From the time of Jeremiah, all of that was the building and the tearing up. It's amazing. That's why he said about Jeremiah. So that was Jeremiah was a defense city, one man. That's how the Davar. God does everything. Like the what's this Davar of Einstein? The Davar of Einstein is the Alef-Bet, right? Atomic bomb. When you think of the atomic bomb, you think of Einstein. He had an Alef-Bet Davar that made him quite unique. Can destroy a lot of nations with that. And also he can empower with the nuclear power plants, nuclear power plants that can run the electricity. So he can tear up and build down with it. So one man can be given an Alef-Bet that is very explosive, can not only blow your mind, can blow your body literally. So I'm just giving you an understanding here that you better stop blowing your mind, because this is exactly what's going on right now. And you better start lining up with the Torah. Say goodbye, bye-bye to everything that is not holding you up. So any of your little dabar that you've been holding dear to from your religion is not making you see yourself right now the way Jeremiah saw himself in the midst of all things, as a defense city, as an iron pillar, and as a brazen wall. Then there's something missing in your dabar. Your dabar is deficient because it's not built upon the Torah. It's not built upon the character and the economy that reflects the wholesome maker of everything. So this, my friend, is my lesson for today, and I'm going to be reviewing this and getting into more detail, tomorrow. Hopefully we'll do 2 hours tomorrow and 2 hours every day, so we can get more in tune with the true heritage that the Torah wants to give you. The Torah wants to establish you in a strong dabar that is not affected by time and space or anything, because it's established in who God is, and not upon the dreams, the cherry roots, the pesel, the yetzirah, hararet, all the things that man invents and they want and desire in this world. Because God is not going anywhere. And if you establish your dabar in him, nothing is going to mess with who you are, my friend. So let me go here to the beginning. All right, so how are we doing? All right. Okay, so I'm going to do this tomorrow, Monday. It's going to be every day this week, because this is the day of the interval. Okay, so the only thing I can tell you is, where you can be rejoicing all the time, which is, I can only be rejoicing in the Torah. So I'm just taking an opportunity to have you enter into that, understand that. Yes, okay. They ask for money, titles, and donations. That's right, my friend. And you see that my format is nothing like that. I don't ask for money, titles, donations. I give money away. And even though I make $15 an hour, I can do that because Hashem is my sustenance. He is my everything. He keeps me healthy. He keeps me strong. All right? So, okay, so here we have it. Gabriela, gusto de verte, mija. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Yo, bien, gracias, bien. Gusto de verte. All right, so I can see some people showed up. But this is for the rest of you that will see it this week. Tell your friends, join in. Question their dabar, that, they're the product of the dabar. And so right now this fear is making you see, what your deity is, because people are afraid because they're going to lose things. They're going to lose their job. So that job is your God. You're going to lose that wife that you wanted to marry. That wife was your God. All your God. Every fear that you have of something that you're going to lose in this world, that's what has been your God all along. So God is showing that your gods are not delivering you. And everything that you fear. So the whole political people like to put you in fear, because right away whenever you respond to their mandates, stupid mandates, they feel empowered. They feel like gods. That's the only time they feel like that. So they keep on going in that feeling, And so they keep on lying to make you think that way. But in any case, I'm going to finish. I'm going to sing the song of Nesun Dorma, but Red Sea Party. Ends up with Israel. So this is, I'm going to get better at this, because I just barely started singing these songs now, just this month. It's not even a whole 30 yet. It's just about a week that I've been doing this. And I want to share this song here, and then I finish. Let me see if I could, where did I put it in here? Okay. I think it's in this. Red already parting. You make of our leaders that guide the nations, making stars that lead us in our imaginations, in our confessions. Your hidden mystery I see. In plain sight you have done it all. Within your Alef-Bet done all the workings, showing so elusive His splendid all. In your M.U.L.E is done at all, in silence His eye can guide us. Discern and notice His works still distiller, His works still distiller, now shines from Jesus.